Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am the LOL Experience and today we are doing something new. Now this is a tutorial that I'm going to be doing of the new map series, or the new series I should be saying, of what is going to be a sort of game show slash survival like series. And basically what's going to happen is, in order to start the game, obviously as you can see we've got all the podiums here. However, I do not have the names on them because I am going to be playing this with other YouTubers and of course the host, which is where I'm standing at the moment. So I apologise because someone's going to be mad for me for standing at their host desk. But basically what's going to happen is me and a few other YouTubers, I'm not going to tell you who because I'm going to let you tell them themselves, if they want to, that is. But me and a few other YouTubers are going to be appearing on this game show, and what the game show basically what's going to happen is, first we're going to be split into teams of two teams. So it will say it would be these three versus these three, and we're going to be playing a map that we're going to get you guys to send in certain maps to us, and what we're going to do is we're going to play them. So the first one is going to be decided by us. We're going to decide among ourselves on what map we will do first. Either that or the host is going to decide. So what will then happen is the first challenge, so it will be 3v3, say it will be something like a Hunger Games, The Walls, Cluster Chunks, something like that, Total Wipeout or something. And basically what will happen is the three winners out of both teams, so obviously say these three won, these three would lose. These three winners would then go out, and as you can see here, we've got a sort of map, and basically each of these outlined glowstone parts are each different territories. And basically what will happen is you'll see ones that have glowstone pillars. Now there's 6 glowstone pillars, and basically what they're for is the three winners will get to decide on what pillar they would like, and that will be their starting area. So say for example I picked this one, this area would then turn to my colour of choice, which would be obviously one of the colours down there. So it would either be yellow, green, cyan, red, dark blue or purple. So say I was red, right, which I'll tell you I'm not actually red, so there's a clue. You've got a fifth of a percent chance, a fifth of a chance on figuring out on what colour I am now. So try and guess, you'll never find out. I'm kidding. But say I was red, all of this within these glowstone outlines would then be red, which I will be, me and a few other helpers, which will be in the description below, will volunteer and take time out of recording etc. to actually transform all of this into certain colours. So the three who win the first game will get to pick their will have a choice of picking what beam they would like, and the other three will then only be left with a smaller choice of what one they would like. So that's what the territories are going to be for, and that's pretty much the game show side of it. But the survival side of it, basically what's going to happen is, say, and we haven't discussed on what the time limit we are going to record for, but say we were going to record for an hour, which would be roughly maybe 4 episodes. During those 4 episodes, the host, right, this is where the host would come in, the host is allowed to shout 2 words within those 4 episodes. He's allowed to shout 2 words. Those 2 words are challenge and aim, which then brings us onto these boards, okay? Now the first one, challenge, that's basically what the first challenge is going to be decided by, the first map. So we've got just this one will be controlled by me, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So the host will not in fact know what game he will be picking. This will in fact be covered up. This isn't going to be the this is just set up for example. This isn't in fact going to be the the order that they're going to be in. So this will be covered up. He won't have a clue on what one. So say he picks this one, it's going to be half and half, okay? So I'll just briefly go through them. Basically what's going to happen is host choice is the host then gets the whole entire board revealed to him. So all the white wool would be taken off and he would then get to pick on what one he would like us to do. There is solo game, which is just a game that someone would do on their own. 3v1, which you could discuss as unfair. That is the same with 4v2, so they're both fairly simple, but people could say they're unfair, I don't know. It's really depending on what map it is. You've got half and half, so 3v3, which is going to be that's going to be the first game, which will then depend on what territories, etc. we're going to get. Versus, so 1v1. Free for all will be, oh god, this is going to be a mouthful, that's what she said. 1v1, v1, 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 v1. So basically, all 6 of us will be up against one another. You've got a 3-way showdown, which that too also sounds wrong, I don't know where I come up with these. 3-way showdown is pretty much a triple threat, so it'll be 1v1, v1. I've already went over 4v2, pretty much describes itself anyway, and a triple duo, which will then be 2v2 v2, so it would be say purple and dark blue, red and cyan, and then green and yellow. Those colours might not stay however though, and it is the same with the flags. I'll actually go through the flags. So we've got red and green, cyan and grey, white and red, and dark blue and light blue. The reason I'm going through them is for anyone who knows their YouTubers well enough, they may be able to guess, because this is in fact the YouTuber's favourite colours. So you might be able to guess on who could be starring in this. It's a bit of a tease, I suppose. Now, as you can see, we've got 2 empty over here and 2 empty over here. Now, what we're going to have is 2 haven't been confirmed. That's why I'm saying that 2 of these colours may not be staying, or even a few of them. Some people might change their mind. And that is why we do not have flags for those certain people. The other 2 are, one's going to be for the host and the other is going to be for my friend Colin, who is going to be down there doing his own series, which will also be uploaded to my channel because he does not have the right software etc to do it. So I'll explain that later on. But that's what the challenge is going to do. And the challenge will basically, it'll pretty much decide on how who's going to be doing, like, or how many people are pretty much going to be doing that game type. So we've got what game type we're going to do, so that's good. Say it was a free-for-all, right? That's fairly simple, right? So there would be no need for this next board, which is the players board. I'll show you that in a minute. But say it was something such as half and half. Obviously, there's got to be a way on to decide on who's going to do, like, who's going to be on whose team. So in order to to decide on who's going to do that, there is going to be this board here, which the host, who I also am not going to confirm on who's doing it. I know who. I just want to keep it as a surprise. He may, or she may say themselves on that they are going to be hosting it. Again, that is up to him or herself and also the YouTubers. So what will be happening is the host will be picking this this board and that board up there. So I will be doing the yellow and red boards, so the host will not in fact know who's will not in fact know on what or who, in fact what order or who is on the board at that specific time, so he will not know the order on what they are placed in. And considering I won't be doing, I won't actually be picking any of these boards, that means there'll be no way in cheating. However, for these 2 boards, that'll be different. The host, I nearly said the person's name now, god. The host will be deciding on these boards because these are going to be boards that the YouTubers select. So, I'll briefly describe this board. This is a player's board up there. And it's going to have all the YouTubers' names on it, including myself, so that's why there's 6 spaces left. And what will happen is it's going to decide on who's going to be doing the challenge. You've also got stuff such as the player's choice. So what the player's choice will be is pretty much we'll all be gathered up round these podiums. and we will all get an individual vote on who will be doing, we'll all get an individual vote on who we think should be doing the challenge, or what people, because obviously some will be plural. You've got the loser's choice, which will be the person in last place at that time in the game show will get to choose who does the challenge, and winner, which is whoever's in first place, gets to choose on what person or people do the challenge. So the way this board is going to be decided is, and the way that people are actually going to be placed into first, second, third, fourth and fifth and sixth place will be these goals up here. Now the goals are pretty much the survival aspect of it, where what will be happening is during the time that we are going to be in survival, we will have to race to try and complete all of these. So I'll just quickly skim through them. You've got craft an enchantment table, create a full set of diamond tools, create any sort of automatic farm, travel to the nether and find a nether fortress, kill every mob except the spider jockey, control 10 territories at one time, which you could debate that's going to be difficult, you never know. Win a total of 15 challenges. That could be with, like, on your own or with a team. That would all be totaled up. Breed and tame every animal. That would also include a snow golem, which is Gary down there. Hey there, Gary. He's just demonically sort of staring at me. Yeah, you will look at... Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, he's getting angry. For anyone who doesn't know who Gary is, he's actually in my survival series, so for anyone who wants to go check him out, then you can go check out my channel, which is the LOL Experience, which you'll be watching this video on right now, so there's pretty much no point in me explaining it because you already know my name. Okay then, anyway, gain a total of 100 XP levels. Now people might say that's quite difficult, but believe it or not, in the first 10 episodes, an average amount of YouTubers in their first 10 episodes of a survival will in fact get over 30, so it's not the hardest thing to get, considering this series will go on for quite a long time. Brew and craft all possible potions, create a house with at least 3 floors, that includes the ground floor, that would count as a floor, then you would have the first and second floors. Complete both 5 aims and twists, so you know, you sort of have to do them. I will explain what both of those do in a second. Prank another player, I think that would be pretty interesting. Create an automatic mob trap, which is different from a farm, obviously. And rank first on the winner's leaderboard. So I'll actually go over the leaderboards now so you know what I'm talking about. You have to come first in the leaderboard first of each time. So you have a choice, you can either do this leaderboard or that leaderboard. It really depends on how good or bad you are. You've got the winners leaderboard here, so it's simple, you just got first, second and third. So in order to complete that challenge, you would have to come first in the most victories, or first in the most territories, or first in the most goals completed. You would have to come in first place of any of these. It doesn't need to be one of each, it could be the exact same one 3 times, or it could be, say, maybe most victories in 2 territories, anything like that. However, there is also this board, which is a loser's leaderboard, which is pretty much the complete opposite. You've got most losses, least territories, and least goals completed. So it really depends on whereabouts you are. Now it does say the winners leaderboard here. We're sort of debating on which one, because obviously people are going to be in last place and won't be able to complete that. So it really depends on who we're getting on this. So that's pretty much what the leaderboards do. I'll then get on to the aims board, and basically what the aims board does is, obviously, like I said, the word aim will be the other word shouted out by the host, and what the host will then do is go straight to the player board, and he will pick on what player he will not pick, but he will decide by like breaking one of the blocks and seeing on what player will do it. Obviously the loser, winners and player's choice, they all just act the same way that they did with the challenge board. So what would then happen is that person would then get invited into a private chat on Xbox with the host, and what they would then do, so no one else knows what the aim is. Basically what we would have is we would have certain stuff such as they would have certain stuff, sorry about that guys, certain stuff such as craftable items, like they would maybe have to craft a certain item, or craft or build a certain building, or even take over a certain amount of territories in a certain amount of episodes or a certain amount of time. So the sort of good thing about the leaderboard is this is sort of the good board and that's sort of the bad board. And basically what I mean about the good board is the host will then ask the player whether he would or would not, or she would like to whether they would like to accept or decline the challenge. So say I got craft a brewing stand, that's just an example, I'm not saying that's going to be up on there. It's going to change every time we have a challenge. So, or every time one is completed or not completed, pretty much. Every time one is selected, another one will be put in its place, pretty much. So if you do not complete the challenge or decline it, then nothing will happen. You will continue on as normal, etc. However, if you accept it if you accept it and complete it, then you will be able to, you will get a reward pretty much from the host. Now, this will remain confidential, so only the viewers and the host, and the actual YouTuber who has picked the aim will know what that aim is or twist. So it will remain confidential. They won't be able to say it to any other YouTuber, etc. So when asked to accept or decline it, the reward will not be told to the YouTuber, so no one will know what the reward is. So it's sort of just luck on whether you accept it or decline it and manage to complete it or not. So that's really up to the YouTuber. So that's basically what this board's going to do. But however, it's also going to have a twist on it, which will then take you onto this board. And the twist board is exactly like the aim board, but like I said, with a twist. I did not mean to destroy that. Whoops. I'll fix that. But basically what's going to happen is, I would just sort of look away from that. Basically, the twist is the bad one, and what the bad version of the aim board will do is you do not have to accept it or decline it. Like I was saying, you do have a choice. However, this time, if you accept it and complete it, you will not get a reward. But if you decline it or cannot complete the challenge, there will be a consequence that you will not be told, exactly like the reward. So you won't be told the consequence, what will happen. So you'll have to be very wary, considering the host will be flying about invisible, watching you at all times. So he could just accidentally break a block from underneath your feet. Anything, he could send someone to try and kill you. You never know, that's just examples. But the twist board's going to have a lot more harsh things on it, such as stuff like assassinate a certain player, play a prank on a certain player, anything like that, which you guys will be able to send in examples of twists and aims that you guys would like other YouTubers to do, including myself as well. So that's what the twist board's going to do. So you'll never know what's going to happen. But talking about that, twists cannot involve TNT, flint and steel, or lava, because we don't want it to be too harsh, otherwise people are just going to run about setting people's houses on fire. So it cannot involve that at all. So that's what the aim and twist boards are going to do. Now, before I get onto the viewers part, I would just like to talk about this. Now, I have had to do this many times, and what I've ended up doing is I've tried to record this plenty of times, and it's gotten to the point where I've just had to write everything down. So I apologise if I have spoken over this, if I have already spoke about this, and went over it. But basically, say this was my territory, right? I would only be able to take over a certain territory if I have been rewarded with it. Such as, say I completed the challenge and the reward was I then get to take over a certain territory. I can only take over a territory that is connected to one that I already control, such as, so say we were starting off the game and I owned this territory and this territory. The only territories I would be able to take over would be this one, or that one, because those are the only ones connected to the ones that I control. So you will in fact be able to take over other people's territories at some point after this board fills up. But at the moment, obviously, it's just going to start off nice and simple. However, if you do take over someone's territory and you get to the point where you take over all the territories, that YouTuber is in fact eliminated from the game and will no longer be on the series. And this will go till we either have someone has completed all the goals and won the game, or someone has just completely dominated the board and they are the only person left. You guys can send us in tweets and tell us what one you would prefer. So also what will happen is, say you own a territory and your territory is taken over by someone else, anything within that territory will then belong to them, whether it's items, buildings, anything, it then belongs to them. So you have to be very cautious and very tactical at the beginning of the game on whereabouts you pick your spot. Now you might think maybe go for that one because it's the furthest away, it's got the most territory around it, okay, but then you have to remember you're also after resources, etc. Which, when it comes to the resources, you cannot take any resources, you're not allowed to mine or anything unless it's in your territory. Any territories that are controlled by someone else or are actually controlled by no one, you're not allowed to take over. However, you can go out into the wild and mine there, etc. And you are allowed to craft outside, but aren't allowed to build any buildings, etc. They all have to be in your space. So I suggest if you don't have enough space, then you may have to expand. So this then takes me on to the viewer point of this. And what we want you, the viewers, to do is send us in maps and give us suggestions of other YouTubers that you would like to see in the series. Because although they might not be showing in the game show, they may be showing in Colin's part, who is sorry, not the YouTuber, the other person I was talking about, which I will of course explain that later. But we want you, the viewers, to send us in maps, send us in questions that you would like to know about certain YouTubers, which Colin will then ask those YouTubers. But we want you to send us in stuff such as maps and any ideas for the aims and twist board that you would like to see on that board, as well as other YouTubers. So we definitely want to give you a big part on this, that's for sure. So I will now take you to Colin's Corner, which the reason I want to explain this is because I'm going to be a part of it. I'll actually be the cameraman. Hell yeah. No, hang on. Oh yeah. Right, okay, but I'm going to be the cameraman, and basically what's going to happen is this is going to be sort of a TV show, a reality show, where Colin will get on YouTubers that you guys can tweet in about and just pretty much tell us who you would like to star on the show. And as you can see, we've got Gary here. I'm sorry for earlier on, Gary, I apologise. See, he's nodding, he's fine, he's cool with it. Oh, you! Oh, never mind then. Fine. So as you can see, Colin is a very good friend of mine who does not have the software to record stuff. So what I've done is I've given him his own wee TV show on this. Hope he enjoys it. This is just another fun bit to the game show, which will sort of be like a side series to it, where I've probably said this about 200 times. You, the viewers, can send in questions which Colin will then ask the viewer or YouTuber that will be sitting on these very seats. It doesn't have to be one person, it can be multiple people. I'll show you backstage. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. Colin will be mad. I'm sorry, Colin. But basically what's going to happen is he can then ask YouTubers questions. It can be anything, it can be comedy stuff, pretty much anything. Colin will be personally deciding what questions he will ask those YouTubers, as well as what YouTubers we will get on the show. So this is just going to be like a sort of side series, so we definitely want your opinion on that as well. But apart from that, that's all we have at the moment. But the two other things I would like to say before I end this video, because this is certainly hurting my throat, and I think I've pretty much talked about everything. That looks like a octopus with glasses. It's a bit weird. Yeah, but anyway, what I'd like to talk about is that we are still looking for suggestions for this series. Not Colin's Corner, however, because that's just going to be called Colin's Corner, but the actual series. For example, maybe Territory Wars. That's just a brief example. That's probably terrible, but so we want you to send in your suggestions. My Gamertag, YouTube, and Twitter will be below, as well as Colin's Twitter account, if he has one, and his YouTube in the description, so you can also send him suggestions as well. So that's what's going to be happening here, and that's pretty much what we need you to do. Send in name suggestions, and also who else you would like to star in the other series, if there is any other, or you can suggest yourself if you really want to. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you do think it is a good idea, then please show your appreciation for it, and definitely take part in this, because this is the main point we're trying to get across here. We want you guys to be a big part of this. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. If so, leave your appreciation down below by leaving a like or a comment, because it certainly does help me out, and I'm pretty sure any other YouTuber who will be in this series. So also, if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. You can become a dude today. It definitely helps me out, and it keeps me going. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time, where hopefully we will actually be filming this with the other YouTubers, where they will be announced. You will be able to see everyone who is playing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you dudes next time. Peace out.